Hi there, it's Anne of Rosie Duck Designs here. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. I've started this video probably at the wrong time because I can now hear the dustman, but never mind, I'm sure we'll get through that. As you can see, I've got a rather distracted director in the house. You're not interested, are you? You're actually guarding the new catalogue, I think, making sure no one looks inside it. So I'm pleased to say that my paper pumpkin kit from Stampin' Up arrived this week. Apart from literally just opening the box so that I could take a photograph of the inside to put on my Facebook page, I have deliberately not looked inside myself so that we can open it together and experience the excitement of finding out what's inside. If you're not familiar with Paper Pumpkin and hadn't seen the previous video, it's basically a subscription item that is only available in the US and parts of Canada. As a one-off, it's being made available to us here in the UK and throughout the other Stampin' Up global markets. And the board chair and co-founder of Stampin' Up, Shelli has got together with Paper Pumpkin and come up with this kit. Hence it's called the Hugs from Shelli kit, and it really does reflect her design of vintage crafting. Sorry. So we're going to open the box in just a moment. I just wanted to remind you of the Everything is Rosy product. I think what it's actually called. Product Medley, I think it's called. So I spoke about that last time, and it is only available during the month of May, so up until the 31st of May or until stocks last. Now I have just literally gone on to my shop to make sure that it is still available before starting to film, and yes, it is still there if you would like to buy it. It basically has a very lovely theme of rose gold, and also you've got a combination there of melon mambo and night of navy, and lots of beautiful rose gold elements going through that. There is a blog post which I did put on. I think there's a couple of blog posts I actually put on, and I will put the link to those on the front of the video, which will explain it a lot better than I can sitting here trying to basically wing it and remember everything. I made a comment last time when I did this video about the fact that I really love rose gold, and I don't actually have any, but to date that little hint hasn't worked at all, so I shall keep going even way past beyond the Everything is Rosy, but yeah, just bear that in mind, Mr. Cameraman. But no, it is a beautiful product medley, I think that's what it's called. And there's lots of beautiful ideas on there. There's a whole blog post where there's 10 different ideas that Stampin' Up have provided as well. So go and give that a look. There are only a few days before, say, the end of May. So whatever happens, you can't get it after the end of May. I've also checked again with the Paper Pumpkin that is available on a while stocks last basis. And yet again, I've got no idea how long it's going to last, but it is available still at the moment. So again, if having looked inside this with me and you would like to buy it, then don't delay, put your order in as soon as possible. And again, as always, I shall put the link to my online shop on the front of the video. So I'm clearly boring Ollie. You want to look inside the box, don't you? It's quite dangerous opening a box in the presence of a cat. We'll give it a go. So, very pretty box, I have to say. Opening it up, we've got a stamp set. So it's a photopolymer stamp set. So there's 14 different stamps in there with some sentiments and obviously some floral and bird and leaf designs. There's a little background stamp there as well. So that's a dear friend, grateful, hello, love, and for you. So there's a thank you here as well, and hugs. So yeah, that's a really lovely stamp set on its own. And all right, it's not in the box that we normally get the stamp set in with the designs on the front, etc. But the cheapest stamp set is around £16 to buy, so it's kind of worth it even for that, isn't it, really? So what else have we got? We've got one of our little stamping spots, and this is Early Espresso, so that is this colour. I did know that was in there, so I did kind of come prepared with that. That's that. Nice tissue paper, it's always handy. I've got a bit of spark of interest up there now. Oh, you have the kit. So again, if you're not familiar with the Paper Pumpkin subscription idea that they have in the States, you probably can't hear me over all that thing. Basically, you subscribe to it and it arrives in the post each month, and you have absolutely no idea what you're going to get. So there's that sort of element of surprise and excitement, not knowing what you're going to be crafting that particular month. If I didn't say that, this kit that is available to us at the moment is just £20, which is why I was saying that stamp set in its own right is worth probably at least, I don't know, £14 worth of that. So let's open it up. The one thing that we don't get in this one is, everyone awake? We don't get a stamping block. Now, I did mention this last time when I just mentioned this kit, and basically you will need a D block. So it's a stamping block which is more or less 3x3. So as long as you've got a block of 3x3 at least, then it will work with this stamp set. If you haven't, it's £8 to buy. And usually with the normal Stampin' Up all-inclusive kits, you do get a stamping block, but it's not one of the nice chunky ones. It tends to be a lot thinner acrylic one, which are great, they do the job, but personally I think these are so much easier to work with, to get a grip and a hold on. So personally I think it's a really good idea that you're not paying for something you don't necessarily want, and if you do need it, you've got the option to buy it and it's yours then forever and a day to use. So let's have a look inside it. Now if you follow my YouTube channel on a regular basis, you will know that we did get given one of the cards on stage, just a little taster. So we weren't working completely blind as to what was in here, so we knew we were going to get that, but I've got no idea what else is in here, unless I can get it out of the packet. I'm still not going to know what's in here, am I? Oh dear. It's well wrapped, sorry, you can't say that for it. Live filming. What have we got here? Oh, I might need this, it's got instructions on it. Yeah, that's always a good thing, isn't it? Right, there we go. Nice big bit of cardboard there as well. Right, so it tells us we have stamp tags and card bases. So these are our card bases. Oh, it's pretty, isn't it? I like that one. I'll have to excuse myself in advance because I'm going to be going, oh, look at that. Oh, I love that. Birds and flowers. That's nice as well. That's quite abstract, isn't it? Yeah, loving that. Well, we've got some feathers. These are on vellum. And then we've got some little pop out flowers, which are these. Obviously blue ones as well. We have some coordinating envelopes. So I had that one with my card with the bird's nest, which kind of makes sense. So we've got feathers, we've got the blue flowers, we've got pink flowers, and then we've got the bird's nest ones as well. So there's 12 cards. 12 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Looks like I've actually got 13 in here, but I will count that again. So let's put those to one side. We've got these little stamp tags. Oh no, I've got another card there. Look. It's the gift that keeps giving. You notice? Oh look, I've got more. There's more. There you go. So we've got tags to stamp on, and then in here we've got some velvet ribbon, which I think that needs an iron before I even start to use that. And we've got some cord here, and we've got this, that is like a solid twine, and this one, I know of this one because I've used it on that one, and it's a little bit stretchy, not a lot, but just a little bit easy frayable, which might be a look you might want to put on the card. It's probably not a word, frayable, but you know what I mean. And then here we have 4 little metal birds. They're cute, aren't they? Like those. And then we've got stamping dimensionals, some little mini ones. And that looks like some glue dots. So basically we've got everything we need. So all you will need to put this together is a pair of scissors, because you'll need to cut the twine or the ribbon, and you will need, as I said, your D block. So, sorry, were you not impressed with the kit? I think it's great. So, we've got some English, French, German and Japanese instructions, or not instructions, but telling us what's in there. And let me just see. Right, so the colours that it's featuring are Crumb Cake, Old Olive, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Pretty Peacock, Soft Suede and Very Vanilla. So I think it's a case of basically looking at the picture and seeing how we're supposed to put these together, because they're not, I'm just trying to read as well as talk. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video there, so that I can make some sense of it, rather than me try to talk my way through this when I'm seriously not quite sure what I'm doing. I mean, I know there's nothing new in that, but when I've actually designed something to share with you, I sort of kind of know where I'm going with it, even if I mess it up. So I am going to, as I say, pause it, and then I will come back and attempt to put 2 cards together in this video, and then I'll do the other 2 as the subject of another video, which will be the one certainly that includes this, because I think that does need to be possibly ironed, or at least moistened, to get all the creases out of it. So I will be back very soon. I think I've sorted it out. I'm feeling slightly under pressure, but I think I've worked out that I need this size to go with this card, and I was kind of helped because I'd got that card, so I need that size to go with this card with the bird's nest. So the big ones, which we're not going to do today, but they go with this one with the little pool party colouring and the birds. It's easier to show you this, isn't it? Goes with that one. And then this size, which is the same as this size, goes with the abstract ones. Now I was going to do one pink, one blue, however both of the blue ones need this ribbon, which, as I say, I would like to just try and straighten out. So I may just do that by sort of wrapping it in a dampened kitchen roll and then just perhaps hanging it over a radiator or something, preferably out of the way of the cats because it will be all around the house, or I might get the iron out, I'll see. But it's just a little bit scruffy to work with. Now I sort of glossed over the fact, and when I was reading out the colours, oh, it's got Pretty Peacock in it, and you might be sitting there thinking, what is she on about? This is Pretty Peacock, and it is one of the new 2019 to 2021 colours. So that's just a little taster of the colours that are coming out when the new catalogue goes live on the 4th of June. I'll be talking about that more. There's only a few days left, so in the coming sort of few days I will be talking to you a little bit more about the new products, etc. But let's try and concentrate with what I've got on hand. I pride myself with multitasking, but we all know I really can't do it. So now that one, which I'm going to do first, we followed it as it suggested, so it said hugs for you. If I'm totally honest, that is not a card that I'm really going to send to anybody. So I'm a great believer in making cards that are going to work for you. So as I've said on numerous occasions, I need lots and lots of thank you cards. So there's a really nice thank you stamp in here, which I have already stamped on my pad just to make sure that was working okay. Now I'm going to use the little ink spot to ink it up. If you've got in your collection the main ink pad, which I may well revert to in a moment, that is obviously, this is really good for the smaller stamps. Is it too girly for you, is it, Ollie? Let's try that. Yeah. So just to show you how it will work on the using this, purely for the ease of me trying to do this on camera and not making a mess of it, and we all know that that's going to be famous last words, but I'm going to go back to my big ink pad. Fly in here as well. That's all we need. Right. I'm going to have to just stamp this. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Can you pause it a moment? So the fly has now left the building. I have learnt one thing. I need a new early espresso pad. So whilst you can get re-inkers, when I've got the old style, I'm tending to replace them with a new one. So it's a little bit fainter than obviously that, but that's fine. I just felt that I probably was safer using that than I was, she said. That's that side. Thank you. Oh, that's my daily exercise anyway. Right, what am I doing? Somebody help me. So we've got a little bit of twine here. Now I have to say, as you probably are aware, twine and me are not the best of friends. I go in a state of panic when I see it, but I'm going to give it a go. Now some people can just wind it around their fingers like that, place it on their piece of work, and it looks like it was meant to be. It's actually not bad. But what I tend to do is I get myself a piece of double-sided tape, and I'll just stick that on the back of whatever it is I'm trying to attach the twine to. I have to say that I watch other people's videos, or I see other people's work, and you know, when they've used the metallic thread and things like that, and it's like, wow, it looks fantastic. Mine always looks like a mess. So as I say, this is not my day, is it? Where's it gone now? So, is this take 4, I think? So I've just wrapped that round, and the reason I use double-sided tape is that it will easily pull off to enable you to reposition it as and where you want it. So you could literally pull the whole thing off and start again. I'm not going to do that because I'm actually quite happy with that. That will do. I'm going to kind of quit while I'm ahead before I throw this sentiment card on the floor yet again. So what am I doing with this? I'm going to stick this on with some dimensionals. What's going on out there, Ollie? But it's not as fun as what's going on in here. So I have to say that because all of my mishaps, this may go on a bit longer than the tablet lets us, so on that basis I may have to just try and stick 2 videos together. If I'm honest, if you've got some larger dimensionals, I think I would probably go with those. So it is an all-inclusive kit, but there's nothing to say that you can't use your own bits and pieces. That would actually be easier, I think. So I'm not in any way, shape or form moaning about the kit. I'm just merely saying that if you've got the bigger ones, there's no reason why you couldn't use them. But you have got everything you need in there to complete your projects. There we go. So let's flatten that. So I'm going to centralise that so it's just there. And I'm going to just trim the top of this off a bit. Actually, that one's alright, I'm going to trim this bit. There we go. So I need 2 of these little flowers. So one of those with the leaves. And a single one like that. And I'm going to put those on with some dimensionals as well. Now, as I said, it's all inclusive. You've got everything you need to produce the cards as are shown on here. There's nothing to say that you can't just add a little few extras to them. And these are flowers, so why don't we put some Wink of Stella on them, just to bling them up a little bit. It's probably not going to show on camera, I have to say, but it will show on the card. So it's just adding your little bit of individuality to the card. And any excuse for me to get the Wink of Stella out, of course. Has to be done. And I noticed on the envelope, and by the way, I worked out what the reason why I've got 13 envelopes, because I actually got this one with my card from on stage. I got that all mixed up, but that won't surprise you, will it? On here, the eggs are actually coloured, so there's like a pool party colour. So I was thinking, why not grab some pool party? Just at the edge of the pad, so it's not going to impact on when you use the pad generally, and you can always wipe this off anyway, but just pick up some of the colour with your Wink of Stella brush, and then we could colour the eggs in. To match the envelope. So they'll have that little bit of colour, but they'll also have that little bit of cat's hair at the end of there. One of yours, Ollie. Okay. It gives a little bit of colour to that. Now you could go one step further. You could colour all this in with. I wouldn't go with Stampin' Blends because they will show through the alcohol content of that will come through on the back of your card. But you could use some watercolour pencils. That would probably be the best bet if I'm honest. That way you're not going to have anything coming through on the other side of the card. But a blender pen with an ink pad would also work. But I'm going to just leave it at that. Quick while I'm ahead. So we need to stick our little flowers on. Tired you out, that bit of excitement chasing the fly, has it? No idea how that got in the house. Now that one, they've put, if you can see that, but it's basically what I've done here. They've put the flower at the top. Now because I've changed the sentiment, I actually think that's going to work better down here. So I'm going to stick my flower down there. So there we are. That's the first card we got there. Right, so I think we perhaps will stop the video now, and then I'll do the second video with the next card before it all just runs out. I will probably go and get myself a cup of coffee and have a lay down in a darkened room, but I will be back very soon. So after having a cup of coffee, I am back to try and do the second of the two cards. Just a couple of things. I did mention about the fact that the Pretty Peacock ribbon, I wasn't very happy with how scruffy that was because it had been folded up in the kit. What I did while I was off camera is literally just dampened a couple of bits of kitchen roll, and as you can see I've just literally flattened it. Then you can just pull it through. Like so. So that's just going to leave a very faint moisture on the top there. Literally, as I say, I had pulled that all the way through. See how much smoother that is now. And I had literally been hanging that over the bathroom radiator because that's one of the rooms the cats don't get into. So I'm going to take a chance because I've got two sleepy cats here. And I'm just going to put it over here. A bit like pantomime season now. If you see them coming towards it, you have to shout. You have to stop the video. Right, so as I say, just a little bit of an idea. So much easier than actually getting the iron out. So that's the first thing. I've also had the chance to actually have a proper read of these, and I've noticed, probably a little bit too late, that there's actually a little bit of instruction in here apart from the pictures. So it's saying that basically this is twine and this is called loop twine, so to give it its correct name, and it tells you that you need twine of 29 inches for the Hello Friend and Grateful for You. So that is the one we're about to make, the Hello Friend and the Grateful for You. Now clearly on this one it's got the pink loop twine, and this has got the, I'm guessing that's crumb cake twine, but we need 29 inches of it anyway. We needed 18 inches, which is more or less what I did cut, who knew, for the Hugs for You, which was the one we did earlier, or the thank you card as we did earlier, and we need also 5 inches of velvet ribbon pieces to stick to the 2 blue cards. So yeah, and we also need 8 inches of twine for this one, which is the thank you card, which if you look, you probably can't see it, but there is a little bit of twine here that goes at the back of the floral die cut flowers there, which we'll deal with when we get to do that card. So as I say, a few more instructions that I didn't mention earlier because I actually hadn't quite read them. There you go. So we're going to try and put together this card, and this is Hello Friend, that's this one, and it has a coordinating envelope of this one, and we need the smallest cardboard tag. Now it's got a nice edging around it. Now they're suggesting that we do Hello Friend. Again, I kind of think the hello, because it's this big, let me just stamp that for you. I'm thinking about what I would use, and I would be happy with hello. I don't think I necessarily need to say friend, because I might be sending this card to a couple. So I'm going to stick with hello on my card, but I just want to show you how they've done Hello Friend. So I've cut out same size piece of card and I've allowed for the border. I'm just going to use this ink pad. So I'm going to go almost up to the top. And then the actual stamp actually says Dear Friend. Now, there's 2 options. You can just ink up the bit that says friend, or you could even cut that stamp between the dear and the friend. There's no reason why you can't then marry them back up together if you want the sentiment of Dear Friend, but you can, if you think you're going to use friend more than dear, then you could just cut that if you wish. Or you can just ink up, as I say, the bit that you want. That's good. I've now got the lid off. That's going to make life so much easier. Now, this is where these little ink stamps or ink spots come in so easier, so much, make life much easier. And I have to say, I kind of didn't realise that came apart, so that's good. Makes it a lot easier. So you can see I've just inked up the friend bit there, So I'm going to stick that under there. So that's basically what is on the card that's being illustrated in the instructions. As I say, I'm going to go back to plan A, and I'm going to go with just hello. Clean this up. Now again, because I wanted to show you on with this how I can do that, I've stuck that on my B block, and because I have got a load of blocks, I've just gone with a small one. But again, the D block is no problem to use. If you see what I mean, you don't need more than one block. I'm just trying to speed things up a bit. I have to make time for disasters, don't I? Right, so much easier without that lid on. So because I'm just going to go with hello, I'm just going to centralise that onto the little tag here. Let's put that back on. Now these are great for going out and about, and you can buy the ones that don't have any ink on. I can't think what the right word is, but you can ink them up yourself, so they're very handy if you want to sort of take some crafting away. Right, what else have I got to do? I need a bird. So one of these little birds out. I love these. I don't need a glue dot. Probably more than one glue dot, I have to say. So taking the glue dot to the bird in this instance. So unlike the roll of glue dots, you've got little covers on top of these. So just take that off. So what should we do? I think we'll stick another one here, so more or less on top of the first one. I think that'll do the job. So that is just into the corner there. And I need some twine. What did that say? 29 inches. So 16 there. That's another 13, isn't it? Expect me to do maths as well. There we go. Maths and stamping, can you imagine? Combination. Right, so tie this round the card. So I basically want my bow about here, I would have said. About there. I don't want to pull it too tight because you're going to start bending the card. The card's going to sort of come upwards like that. But then we don't want it too loose so that it basically falls off. This is one of these talk amongst yourselves moments, I feel. Again, I have to say this is not something I generally do with cards. But it's always good to step outside your comfort zone and prove that you can do something. Or not, as the case may be. Positive thinking on that. Focus on the cat. You got any words of wisdom for me, Ollie? You're actually better at wrecking things, aren't you? Right, so double knotted that. It's a very hard life being a cat in this house. No, I'm not happy with it. I'll probably make mine up without putting this on if I'm honest, and perhaps do something else, but anyway, just bear with me. As I was saying earlier, not long now before we have the new catalogue, and there are lots of really lovely. So, our apologies, we've no idea why that happened. So, it took my cameraman to say to me, you don't actually have to put it in the right position, just equalise the bow and then tie it, which I have done, sort of in the middle, anywhere. And then when you've got what you want, you can just twist it up to where you need it to be. Who knew?
The cameraman.
The cameraman. Oh, at this rate, you're going to want paying, aren't you? Right, there we go. Managed to twist it now, but never mind. We've got the gist of it, haven't we? You see, this is why I never put ribbons and stuff on my cards. It's kind of a lost cause. There we go. Right. So let's just, that end's alright. I'm just going to trim this end off. Right. Yeah, I think that kind of looks like theirs. So I've taken my own advice and just brought in a couple of, well, a strip of my bigger dimensionals, but of course the little ones will work. I'm just trying to make my life a bit easier. And everyone else's, because the longer it takes me to sort things out, the longer I'm inflicting this video on you. Right, so that goes up more towards the top of the card. I'm just centralising that. And there we have our second card. That was actually a lot easier than the first one, apart from this bit, I have to say. And you could, I suppose, bling some of these flowers up, but I actually quite think that it's got enough busyness going on and it's kind of standalone. I don't think it really needs anything added to that. So I'm going to stay with that. So before the video sort of clicked off for some unknown reason, I was mentioning the new catalogue. I can show you the front, but until the 4th of June I cannot show you what is actually inside. I can't show the inside pages, but I will start to be featuring some of the new products from the catalogue in the upcoming week, and then come the 4th of July or thereabouts, sorry, 4th of June even, I will be doing a walk through the catalogue, just picking out some of my favourite things and some of the things that are on my wish list, because as always my bank balance doesn't support my wish list. But I have had the opportunity to do a pre-order as a demonstrator, and there's a lot of fun things in there to play with. If you would like a copy of these, I have now got my catalogue supply and I'm in the process of sending them out. If you would like a copy, just use the contact me link at the front of this video and I will be happy to put one in the post to you. As usual, the links to my Facebook page, my blog, Pinterest, Instagram and my shop, most importantly, will be on the front of the video. If what you've seen so far of this, apart from the good laugh I've hopefully given you, if you're liking what we've made so far and you fancy adding this kit to your supplies, I have to say with this lovely box, when they're all made up, you can just keep them in the box, and whenever you need a card in a hurry, then you will not only have had the fun of making them all up, but you will obviously be able to just go to this lovely box and take out a card and use it as and when you want a card. So if you've been inspired to give it a go, then do use the link on the front of the video to my shop and put your order in. As I've said, it is for a limited time only on a basis of while stocks last, so if it's something you want, then don't delay in placing that order. So I will be back over the course of the next day or two to put together the 2 blue cards. So it'll give me a chance to get my head around those. There's even more ribbon on them. So we will see how that goes. If you've enjoyed the video, then please do give me a thumbs up, and if you would like to subscribe to my channel, then please do that. All that will happen is that you will get notified when I've uploaded a new video, and you get the choice to watch it or not. The same applies to my blog. There is a subscribe button on that, so if you fancy keeping up to date with what I'm up to and all things Stampin' Up, particularly this time of year, because it's all going to be about the new catalogue, and also featuring details about the new storage system that has recently become available from Stampin' Up. So I think that's it for today. So until next time, thanks ever so much for joining me, and take care. I will see you very soon. Bye.